Hi, lovers. Hi, lovers. Lovers. How are you, lovers? Just so you know where we are on the calendar, we are in season 2, episode 2. It's now September 2020. Fall seems to be creeping around the corner. In about 3 weeks, this season will change and summer would officially come to an end. I don't know about you lovers, but my summer was pretty interesting. Since the last episode of For the Lovers podcast, I always feel like there's so much going on. And I always try also to have a low-key profile just because I know the energy that I attract. So I try to just really be low as possible. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can follow me at Ty Hampton, at Ty the Bartender, and of course at _forthelovers.com_ on Instagram. Wow. Okay. So let's see. Since the last time, since last week's episode, my grandmother died. And it's really crazy to me because this was a woman who was so spicy. Both my grandparents, actually, my grandmothers, are very, very spicy women. I'm thankful for them. I'm always thankful for, the people that have put me in the positions that I'm in, the positions of birth, giving me my genetics, my beauty, my wits, my wisdom. However, it's interesting because I've never lost someone. I never lost a bloodline that began my bloodline, if that makes any sense. When she died on August 16th at 7:07 p.m. Jeanette Hampton. It's crazy to me because this is a woman that I've probably seen maybe twice my whole life. The first time I was a child, the second time I was an adult, and that's really wraps up that relationship. So when people ask me how am I doing mourning and grieving, I'm terribly sad because this is my dad's mother we're talking about. They're with parenting, with, family members, with American culture. There's so many things that goes on within our families that a lot of people wouldn't understand unless it happens to them. So when this happened, it made me finally send in my DNA to 23andMe to test my health and ancestry, okay? And also just really want to know who she was. It's really sad. My dad's family is from Ohio, Columbus, and I'm due to go there actually for the ceremony, but I actually really don't want to go. I want to be with my Hamptons. I miss them dearly. I don't think I've been there in 5 years. But I'm also a real ass bitch. And with that being said, I didn't have a relationship with this woman, And for me, it's just the energy that I'm going to be putting into traveling amidst COVID and, being in an environment that makes me uncomfortable. I don't know if I want to put myself in that aura anymore. I'm an adult. However, like I said, I miss my Hamptons. I miss being with my family. So I really want to see them and be with them, just not under these circumstances. At the same time, when we lost our beloved grandmother, I also broke up with my lover. It just seems like when one thing happens, a whole bunch of other stuff happens, right? And I wasn't actually going to talk about it or make it like a thing, but I need to because not many people know about him and what, my personal love life, of course. He might not even understand why I'm dedicating minutes to him on my podcast, this episode, but it's because it happened all together. And I've never experienced such disrespect, I guess, from someone at this point in my life. I feel like I've, blocked all of that energy out. And I did block him as well. And I didn't feel good about it. It wasn't a thing to be like petty or anything like that. But I mostly blocked him just because I didn't want to be tempted to see him. I didn't want him to see me. He didn't deserve to see me. And he got me mad because as I'm mourning and grieving the loss of my grandparent, he was out fornicating and treating other women from Sweden, okay? And this brings me to this topic because doing stories for the Jasmine brand recently, actually yesterday, all the stories seem to be on relationships, from Rihanna and Chris Brown rekindling their friendship to Pastor John Gray apologizing to his wife and congregation for his recent allegations, and even Joe Budden and Tahari Jose being in the media again because Tahari has announced that Joe Budden was abusive. So I'm just like, okay, what is going on here? Why is whatever's going on in my universe always a reflection as what's going on in the universe as well? I'm talking to you the beginning of a new month, a full moon. So I already know there's going to be things that come read to surface. I just wasn't expecting how, when, where, and with whom. Now, the reason why I actually don't block people is just because I don't like to give people the satisfaction that, oh, she blocked me. Like, nah, that's not what this is about. I blocked him because, like I said, I just didn't want that energy. I'm very specific about who I let in my life. And I said this on the first episode. Maybe some people don't understand that, and it's fine. But those are the same people who don't need to be in my life. As I turn 30, as I turn a new decade, I'm really focusing on the people that's in my life currently. Either you're new or old, but we're growing together. I don't see what's the purpose of being in someone's life based on turmoil. But anyway, lovers, so I wanted to just say that because that's a lot that happened to me. I've been working a lot, though, on the flip side of things. The bar has been very busy on the days that's sunny and bright in New York City. And I'm just continuing to push out video stories with the Jasmine brand. Obviously, we're back into podcasting. And I have a lot on my plate right now and a lot going on. So I'm very blessed to be able to maintain a positive mindset no matter what is happening in the world. I've also met a few people. It's interesting. I've met 2 sets of twins in the last 2 weeks. What does that mean? Anyway, I've been exploring different rooftops. And, this balancing work and social life. I've been going out with my girls and, it's really refreshing. But I'm just not liking the state that we're in when it comes to men and women right now, especially Black men and women. There's something about the energy surrounding my Black people when it comes to relationships and relating. And I don't like the competition that seems to be at surface. I don't like that Black women continue to feel unprotected from their Black counterparts. It's just not fair. And I also don't like the fact that when a Black woman steps outside of her race to date someone else of another race, it's a whole big deal. Like, I cannot believe in 2020, as much Black men have dated, paraded, boasted, pridefully, had a woman of non-color on their arm, and to look down upon a Black woman when she dates outside her race. I'm speaking from experience because I've always dated outside my race. My first kiss in high school was from John Alvarez. I'm going to say his name because I'm sure he's not listening to this podcast. And he's Italian and Puerto Rican, more on the Italian side. And I've always dated outside my race. I've always been blessed to see love first. Well, I won't say love first. I've always been blessed to say that I see a person for who they are. If I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you. As much as I would love to keep my black genes procreated, I don't know if that's really in my future. Based on my last lover, especially, he's black, and I love like everything about him, to be honest with you. But I don't like his narcissistic side. And with a narcissist, you cannot win. It's just a fact. You can listen, you can Google, you can research. You can't win with someone who's narcissistic or even has narcissistic traits. And unfortunately, it sucks because I cannot put my happiness or anything that I'm feeling to the side for the sake of a man. Like, I will never do that, period. When we first got together, actually, I remember he asked me this question in my kitchen. What can you tolerate? Oh my gosh. If I knew that it would lead to this, I don't know if I would even kiss him, because I'm very much of a lover, and all my friends know, all my people know, I just don't let people in my life. I just don't. It's not because I'm scared or whatever. It's just because you have to build, you have to communicate, you have to really, have a vibe. And as much as we really do vibe when we're in persons together, there's just, why am I tolerating something when I feel unhappy? What's in it for me? And that's how I feel. What's in it for Ty? What's in it for the inner you? But moving forward, I've been binge watching some shows. I watched Euphoria, which I'm totally hooked because, they're in East Highland County. And being a black girl from Staten Island, I can totally relate, unfortunately, to the mishaps, the dysfunction, the abuse of high school life. Being popular in high school, having a boyfriend, the drugs, the sex, the fast life, thinking you're grown in your parents' house, all of that I can surely relate to. So I was definitely hooked on the show. I've also been watching Lovecraft Country, which I absolutely adore because it is a show about Black history, yet with a dark fantasizing twist, which I love because it's actually showing a little bit of wizard magicalness in it. And I can't wait to see how the whole season plays. We're currently in episode 3 of season 1. Back to when it comes to relationships, throughout even these shows, I always seem to place myself as a character in the show to see how I can relate to my real life. And it's hard for me. It's hard for me to separate fantasy from reality at times. I tend to live in my own world, and I tend to imagine always this a positive ending, a positive outlook. But the reality is you cannot control people. You cannot control their responses. You can't expect from people. And when that happens, I think it's time to move on. Sometimes with different cultures, that's not as easy because everybody's bred differently. And that's one thing you have to know as being a lover. You can't expect the same man to be the same guy, the same woman, the same lady. Everybody is different. But it goes back to the same question I was asked in my kitchen. What will you tolerate in a relationship? Me personally, I don't care about a lot of things just because I'm so involved in my wealth right now. So that takes a lot of time to build. But if I allow you in my life, rather it is for the sex or it is for some type of gain, what is the purpose if, again, there's no effort from your partner? There's some things I would not be able to understand, and I don't feel like I need to go through this route. I feel like nothing is a loss in life. Everything is a lesson. And for me, this last year, I feel like this is the closest I've been with a guy in a sense. Guys come and go. I don't really care. Take me out, give me money, bye. I don't even remember that I went out on a date with you. I'm like, oh yeah, I did go on a date with this person. I wouldn't even remember. However, when you actually get vulnerable and then you let your guards down, that's the feeling that we never want to go through, right? We never want to go through heartbreak and disappointment. We just don't want to do it. I don't regret anything. He showed me that it really is okay to be vulnerable, to let my guards down, because there is someone there that will be there to guard me regardless. But it's just not him. Does that make sense? It's weird. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, because I'm still trying to grasp hold of everything my own self. But I feel like if I didn't meet him at this specific time, I will be the same old Ty, not giving anybody a chance. In order to, build with someone, you have to give them a chance. So I'm happy that, this happened. I would love if we did have a future together, even if it was just friends. But I also feel like I can't be friends with someone who's just not genuine, because I'm such a sweetheart. I'm just a giving person. I want to make the people in my life really happy. And I'm actually getting really emotional about it right now, because I just don't understand how people can operate in the world without... But I've done it. I did it this time. And I know I probably didn't even express it to him, to this matter. A thought about someone else's happiness first. Anyway, lovers, so this is For the Lovers podcast. We might get emotional. Again, I am recording from my comfortable bed. I have Sade playing in the background. And I'm really happy that I'm really blessed regardless. My life is good. I don't have a lot of issues that other people have. I don't have a lot of problems. I don't have any kids. These are things that I don't have to go through. So I'm always grateful. I'm always showing them utmost gratitude to God. But I also hurt and feel pain as well. And I'm allowed to feel that. Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, is this terminology as being a strong Black woman. What does that actually mean? What does it mean? The second half of this episode, based on, all of me letting you lovers know what's been going on with me, I really do not like I don't like when someone tells me, Ty, you're a strong Black woman. What the fuck is that? Am I some type of monster? Am I some type of inhumane thing? Why am I strong? Did you see me lift up a fucking couch or something and throw it across the room? What makes me strong? I never hear anyone say, Liz, you're a strong Asian woman. Camelia, you're a strong Spanish woman. I don't hear that. So please stop deeming Black women as if we are unemotional, as if nothing affects us, as if we don't have our own pains. This is unfortunately is a term that does go back to United States slavery, and it sucks because it has the adjective has carried on through generations, and I am nipping it in the bud. The other night, I was out at a rooftop, new rooftop that just opened the end of August. Beautiful rooftop in Chelsea. And I'm there and I'm talking to this young man who asked me out for a drink. And, we're vibing. We're actually grooving and talking. And he's, asked me, he was like, oh, I looked you up on your website. You have a lot going on. You seem so focused. The first date. Well, actually, it wasn't a date. It was a hangout. The first hangout conversations, which bore me to death. But we're talking. And he goes and says, you're a strong Black woman. Are you fucking kidding me? What did I do tonight that shows you that I'm strong? Because I'm not fucking crying because my grandmother just died? Because I have my own apartment, my own car. I don't have any children. I take care of myself. What makes me strong? And I don't like it because it's as if we cannot be weak. We cannot be vulnerable. And this is why Black women suffer so much from the bullshit of the world, because you always think that we're supposed to be so strong. We're not fucking robots. Sally, you're a strong white woman. Black women are magical, yes. We're melanated, yes. Yes, we automatically are equipped with different genes that other women are not because of our melanin. But can you understand that we're also women? We're also soft. We're also like a flower, a petal, and you need to handle us with care. From our hair to our lips, to our nose, to our butts, our thighs, our feet. Everything inside of us is woman. It really pisses me off that people really say strong black woman, and I'm tired of it. Is it because we endured so much, our men stepping out of us to other races where we're alone and can't relate to the white man putting his pink penis in our black vaginas? What the fuck do you expect from black women? I just don't get it at this point. That I'm supposed to deal with the fact that I go to work and I'm the only black bartender? When you say I'm strong, as if I'm supposed to just deal with whatever life throws at me. I just get turned off. It actually makes me want to cry. Also, excuse my profanity this episode, but I am a little bit enraged because I really have realized how much black women are suffering from that terminology being strong. It's just so sickening and so crazy. Just say, wow, Ty, you're a really successful young black woman. Okay, well, thank you. Oh my goodness, thank you. I did it all on my own. Thank you so much. I have my more support from my family, my friends. Why, thank you so much. I'm supposed to deal with the fact that growing up, I was the only black girl in my classes in Staten Island, but then had to come back to a neighborhood that was, oh, you're calling me a strong black woman because through having retina detachment surgery twice, obtaining a cataracts, and moving, I still persevered. So that makes me strong. No, it makes me faithful. No, it makes me a lover of God. No, it makes me grateful. I just want people to really predominantly black. So who, when, how do I fit in? Become a little bit more sensitive to the verbiage they use when talking to someone, especially black women. We're not hugged. We're not kissed. We're not touched the same way as other race women. And enough is enough. Okay, you want to bring up the fact you can't run your hands through a black woman's hair? That's bogus. Bogus. Why can't you run your fingers through my braids? Why can't you run your fingers through my wig if you don't pull it off my head? Think of black women as an object instead of a person, a human being. And I get it. I understand when it's used, you don't mean any. It is really inhumane to me. And everybody needs to get a humanity class on removing strong black women from their vocabulary. Stance behind it. But the point is, enough is enough. I see black women and I want to hug them. I want to kiss them on their face. I want to tell them that it's okay. You can cry. You can cry because you're supporting a black man still who's in and out of jail, who doesn't want to get a job, who sells drugs, who doesn't even make you have an orgasm at night. I do want to give you a hug. I really do. It's not fair that and this is all women, we push out lives. We receive so much when you plant seeds in us, men, and then you're not by our sides. My dad's mom had COVID, and for me, I can't imagine having COVID and giving it to someone that I love. So I will mind my business, keep a low profile as much as possible, besides my sneaky linky parties in New York City. I'm just going to be chilling. For the most part, I have been poolside almost every single day. And my skin tone right now is amazing. Shout out to Carrie Berries for her beautiful natural body butter that I put in this radiance and glows my skin. I'm also the only black girl in my pool, of course, because who else is going to pay membership? Shout out to her because she's been doing her thing during COVID-19 as well. And all the lovers from the last season will be back. Like I said, we're just doing things differently. We have to take precautions and different guidelines because of COVID. I don't play around. As you know, my dad had COVID. I've also realized by recording with my Anchor app in my comfortable bed that this is actually a therapy for me. So I hope as you lovers are listening and tuned in, you can tell me any topics you want to talk about. You can leave me comments, reviews. I will get them all. You can email me, Ty@forthelovers.com as well if you want to talk about some specific topics. I will be having some guests on the show, like I mentioned. Courtney's doing the show, Closed by Coco on Instagram. This is my narrative throughout my 29 years of life in New York City. The only black girl, the only black girl, the only black girl, the only black girl. And I don't care really, because I've grown up with so much blackness in me, meaning, my parents are not Uncle Toms. So I'm blessed enough to be able to be a chameleon in a sense, I guess, in this industry of media and hospitality, entertainment, where you have to speak proper and, just be able to mold in any crowd you go into. So I get it. It's just crazy to me what's been going on these last couple of weeks. I've actually turned down a lot of parties. There's been parties at the W, at Dream, at PhD. The list goes on. Different beauty salons, different art galleries, everything on the low. And I just been turning them down because, for one, I'm not meeting anyone on my level. Let's get real. There was one guy, actually, he was hot as fuck. He was Russian, nice beard, and tall. But you know how I do when I manifest. I'm sure I'll meet him again. I'm not stressed. And it's a lot of these little kids. Like I said in my last episode, I'm about to be 30. I love fun. I love to shake my ass, but this is not that. It's not a club. You know what I'm saying? It's different times, and I don't need to be drinking from a red cup some wine when I can just be in my bed, staying fine. I mean, let's be real here. So, lovers, thank you again for listening to part 2, actually, of Welcome to TiyLand. The next episode, we will be bringing on a guest. We will be getting a little bit more in depth of certain topics. Podcasting for me is really a great outlet to express a lot of things that I keep in. I write poetry. I do photography. I love aesthetics. This is my life. I read books all day, but I need to talk my shit. I need to get a lot of things off my chest. And it's not always about a phone call to a friend. It's not always about a rant on Instagram. There's a time and a place. And my time and place is here on For the Lovers Podcast, Season 2. While we come to our 30 mark in the episode, I want to just tell everybody tuned in to take a deep breath. The last quarter of 2020, and I know that 2020 has been trending. I mean, we're in the year, but this is something still for me that is just so shocking every time I think about it. One of my favorite mechanisms to do every single season is to change the furniture in my apartment. The feng shui of the energy and how everything's flowing in your apartment matters. If you don't have an apartment in your room, all of that matters. And if you can change it at least 4 times a year, you will be stunned at the energy flow that you endear. So I finally changed up my TiyLand studio. And I love it. I absolutely love it. What would you say, lovers, is a deal breaker? I'm going to leave us with that question to lead us into episode 3. What is a deal breaker when it comes to not only just love, but any relationship, a friendship, family, career? In life, there are deal breakers, and you're allowed to move forward accordingly. A deal breaker in relationships is when someone intentionally... It was so sad to me too, because I wanted to share it with my lover, but I really don't like him right now. So I am not showing him how I changed my stuff around, because I don't think he'll be around any longer. Knows that this might hurt you, but continues to do it. And that's really deep on another surface. The whole reason why I even blocked my lover was because he hid his Instagram stories from me. And we're not like, exclusive to one another. I'm not going to say that. But there's a level of respect that I would expect from someone in my life, period. And I say that because you don't have to tolerate anything that doesn't serve you. And when I realized he hid his stories, I'm like, well, why are you intentionally hiding something from me when you don't hide anything from me? Because you know you're doing something that I'm not going to like. period. And the whole thing was, oh, you're grieving, you're mourning, so I don't want you to see me outside eating. I have respect. What kind of dumb shit is that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm telling you, lovers, I've never dealt with someone like this before. Never. Like, literally, I don't know, again, what's the purpose? I think it's to show me what I don't want for a future husband or something, because that doesn't make any sense. Like, you're hiding the fact that you're fornicating and treating a young woman out to dinner when your girl is grieving and mourning, and you couldn't even send her a fucking rose to her apartment. Please, someone listening to this episode 2 of For the Lovers podcast, welcome to TiyLand Part 2. Explain to me in my DMs, via email, in a review, in a comment, in a message, what does that mean? Like I said, I'm very simple. Like, I don't nag. I don't like, oh, who is that? Oh, who's sex? I don't do those type of things, because that's not my concern. My concern, number one, is always how you treat me. If I feel mistreated, now there's a problem. Now I'm going to ask you, well, who's that? Well, why you... Like, I think that men, because they also develop so immaturely than women, things like that don't click in their mind until they're 35. And because we're still in our 20s, there's so much more way to go. But at the same time, if you're not doing the minimal in my life, then why are you here? Because I'm only going to feel like it's strife. How you react to things is wrong. Don't ever doubt yourself because of a man or anyone. What I've learned during this, it's really hard to let go of someone. It is. It's not an easy thing. Like, I don't just like, boom, pop, okay, you out. I don't do that. Even though it may seem like that because I don't talk to you, I think about a lover every day, all day. I still pray for lovers, And for me to have to want you out of my life, especially at 29 years old, that means you fucked up. You fucked up. It's so easy to please Ty. Like, Ty likes flowers. Ty likes books. Ty likes stationery. Ty likes to eat. Ty likes wine. Like, it's just so simple. And I feel like when you're with someone who's narcissistic or has narcissistic traits, they eagerly don't want to make you happy. Like, that's not their goal. They'll never apologize. They never will see they're wrong. They'll mind fuck you the whole time by making it seem like, yeah, you know what? It was me. You know what? You're right. I shouldn't be smiling and outside because my grandmother died. No, you're right. You're so right. No. Don't ever think for once that quarantine during 2020, during my 20s, is that people come and go. Friends, I've lost so many girlfriends during my recovery from retinal detachment surgery 2 years ago that I still think about them. I miss them. I want to give them a hug. I do. But I can't settle. I cannot subject myself to energy that doesn't uplift me, period. I won't do it. I may cry my eyes out at night thinking about someone, wishing I can just call them on a phone, wishing I can just lay with them. But I refuse to stoop down and allow anyone in my life that is not here for Ty, period. So I hope that, as you listen to this episode, you really grab something. Every episode, I really want you to grab something, a lesson learned, be able to relate. Because this is what's on my plate right now. It's just so crazy because you want to share things with people and things and you just can't. Like on Instagram, I enjoy like memes and like funny stuff. I love to laugh. That's my favorite thing on earth to do is to laugh besides eating and traveling and reading and swimming and sunbathing, etc. I love laughing. And like for these past 2 weeks, because I had my lover blocked, it was so boring. Like literally so boring because our humor, it was just the way we communicate, it wasn't there. But like I said, I refuse to stoop down to anything that doesn't serve me. I didn't do anything wrong. And to be honest with you, this is the second time in our relationship that we've not talking for 2 weeks exactly. The beginning of COVID, we didn't speak for 2 weeks, and now we didn't speak for 2 weeks. There's something going on here. I've been in a toxic relationship prior 10 years ago, and I refuse to be in any type of relationship, like I keep saying over and over, that just doesn't serve me. If it's a girl who wants to get fried all the time and it's always an episode, I'm not fucking with you. I will love you from afar, and you know that. Everybody knows that about me. Anybody I've cut off in life, there's no hard feelings. There's no hard feelings. I don't hate anyone. If I ever saw you at a restaurant or at the mall, malls are probably not going to reopen in New York anytime soon, but you get my drift. I would say, oh my goodness, hey, wow, great shirt. Well, I'll see you later. It was great seeing you. And I'll keep it pushing. That's me. It's a blessing to be in my life. And I always feel like I'm a blessing in other lives as well. So it's not just one-sided here. I've also been fasting this first week of September. I've decided to go on a fast because I dropped the podcast, because I'm working on my website, because of all these things, because of my grandmother dying, me breaking up. I just felt like, whoa, let me take a step back. Let me fast and get my spirit right. Let me just because I always feel like there's so many good positive things that come out when there's always so many bad things happen as well. Like, it just is. That's how life goes. It's the highs and the lows, like a roller coaster. And when the highs are high, you can see everything and you feel like you're in the sky. But when the lows are lows, it feels like a blow. Because you have to understand, if God brought you to it, God will bring you through it. This is not even about religion. This is just spirituality. And y'all know how much my spirit is very, very, very important. It's just why I don't even have sex with everybody, because I don't want your demons in my body, period. I don't want your other spirits in me. I don't have time for that. I'm a person that receives, and I'm too much in tune to not be in tune with that, the inner you. So lovers, again, make sure you follow me at Ty Hampton, at Ty the Bartender, and at _forthelovers.com _ on Instagram. Check out my website while you're at it, forthelovers.com. You can Google me, Ty Hampton, on YouTube. I'm out here. I'm getting my whole brand together. I have 3 months to really be like, all right, 2021, let's go. I know I always say it. I'm not consistent. But this time, I promise, pinky promise, that I'm here to stay. I support all my supporters. I support all my lovers. I wish nothing but the best for everyone that's involved in this movement of love, for the love of whatever your passions are. If it's fashion, construction, communication, hospitality, really, really focus and do it for the love. If you can, I know it's hard, but if you can separate the money from the love of things, money will flow into you. And that's a fact. I just speak from experience. It's interesting because speaking of money, lately Robinhood has been trending as well. And if you don't know what Robinhood is it's a trader's app. It's an investor beginner's app. It's something to do if you're not familiar with trading, not familiar with stocks and investments. It's a great tool to use to learn how the stock market works. And I've been on there since March, and I've been seeing things go up and down. I've been doing my research on, which stocks are going to make sense in a few months, what are going to go up, and just what makes sense in general. Like, I have a good friend named Stephanie Rosa, and she really broke it down to me about this currencies and, in an easy way, because people never want to explain to you like how these things work. And I get it. It's time consuming, but it's just a conversation. I'm tired of people feeling threatened by someone else that wants to make money or learn how to make their money work for them. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of trading Forex people keep hitting me up, and I'm just like, I'm tired. I feel like if you're gonna text me or DM me about how to make money, just put the money this automatically Cash App me. My Cash App is $Ty Hampton. Just Cash App me. Just do that. Just do that, and then we'll be fine. We can make money in the long run together. But lovers, I'm going to wrap it up soon. It's always a pleasure. It's a lovely Thursday night, actually, in New York City. The first week of September. And it's rainy. It's been rainy on and off, which sucks for us hospitality workers because, our whole entire income right now is basically off of the weather because we're outdoors. So unless you have a retractable rooftop or a nice, some type of awning where you're not getting wet, it's a dub for outdoor dining, which I still deem as ghetto. Today, I went to the West Side and I had to take care of some business over there. And I'm looking at all the outdoor restaurants. I'm like, this is so forced. Listen, I'm a bartender in New York City. I want to make money behind the bar. But it just don't look right. Dining with rats running across my feet. Doesn't look right. Doesn't feel right. With homeless people right outside asking me for money. It's just, I don't understand the concept. If you were not in already outdoor space, rooftop or patio, putting your seats and tables on the sidewalk is just not cutting it for me. I even had this discussion with my neighbors who felt the exact same way. Where can we go out to dine? I'm like, well, for me, I stick to places that already were an outdoor dining location, not a place that has, I don't care if these are 5-star Michelin restaurants, okay? They're putting these tables at bus stops under scaffolding, and it's so ghetto. You're spending like $500 on a golden steak for ghetto-ness. I don't like it. Again, there's a lot of really nice places outside of New York City that are even doing indoor dining in Jersey, Long Island. So don't be afraid to leave New York City in order to get a nice dinner, because we're just unable to have indoor dining still, and probably until the spring of March. So lovers, this episode we talked about being a strong Black woman. We talked about my crazy relationship life and unfortunately the death of my grandmother. You have to know that's when you really glow. Thank you all for tuning in. This was For the Lovers Podcast, Season 2, Episode 2, Part 2 of Welcome to TiyLand. And I am at Watermark Bar in the Seaport until they say we can't. Look forward to Oktoberfest with us. It's going to be a rock and roll situation. Catch me on YouTube at thejasminebrand.com for all of your entertainment news. And I'll be posting some more essays and poetry on forthelovers.com. And of course, subscribe on Apple, subscribe on Spotify to this podcast For the Lovers, because we're dropping every week, Wednesdays at noon. All right, lovers, until next time, be safe, wear a mask, and put sanitizers in your bags. Cheers.